Have you ever started trying to work towards a goal, whether it's in your career or it's a health goal or it's something that you want to do just to improve your life, only to fall off track by an old pattern that you recognize? It comes back again and again. So you dust yourself off, you pick yourself up, you start over again, only to find yourself self-sabotaging yet again. This video is sponsored by Squarespace. If you haven't met me before, I'm Rachel. I'm a nutritionist, trainer, and a wellness coach, and I help busy people get strong and ditch self-sabotage. The perplexing phenomenon of self-sabotage has, at some point, cast a shadow over all of our lives. It's sort of inescapable. It's the subtle art of undermining our own progress, and it often leaves us questioning why we engage in behaviors that hinder our goals and our aspirations. So today, let's dive into the intricate workings of self-sabotage. I'll help you decipher its underlying mechanisms in your life, and I'm going to offer some insights into effective strategies so that you can break free from its grip. At first glance, self-sabotage seems illogical. Like, why would anyone knowingly act against their best interests? Because beneath this behavior lies interesting psychological dynamics. Self-sabotage often originates from a mixture of fear, self-doubt, and ingrained habits. And these internal forces, although they seem counterintuitive, they wield a really significant influence on our desires and our decisions and the actions that we take every single day. I want you to consider that perhaps you're afraid you don't deserve it. Fear is a primal human emotion, and it has a remarkable power to shape our decisions and shape our behaviors. And when it comes to the phenomenon of self-sabotage, fear plays a dual role, intertwining both the fear of success and the fear of failure. These fears, although paradoxical, they definitely possess the potential to hold us back from realizing our true potential. Fear of success can also just be known as the comfort of familiarity. It actually just finds its roots in the realm of the unknown. And as counterintuitive as it might appear, success often ushers in new expectations, new responsibilities, and uncharted territories that we haven't explored before. Whereas the comfort zone beckons. It's familiar, it's predictable, and that can seem safe. And sometimes stepping into success means stepping out of that comfort zone and into a space that demands growth, demands adaptability, and demands change. And that is not comfortable. This can trigger anxiety and discomfort, and it can prompt us to unconsciously sabotage our efforts just to avoid venturing beyond the borders of what we know. This inner conflict between the desire for success and the fear of its implications creates a self-imposed barrier that impedes progress. And then on the other side of the coin, we have fear of failure, which is the perceived pitfall. Confirmation that we are indeed inadequate or incompetent at whatever we're trying to do. The dread of falling short, of facing setbacks and disappointments can absolutely lead us to wanting to avoid the behavior that is aligned with our goal. In a twist, this fear of failure becomes so overpowering that it drives us to sabotage our own efforts, as if we're almost preemptively protecting ourselves from the potential pain of not meeting our own expectations. I want to take a quick little break to thank Squarespace for sponsoring a portion of this video. They're an all-in-one website builder and host, and I use them to host my blog platform, Eat, Run, Lift. If you're someone who's looking to set up a presence on the web, whether it's a blog, a portfolio, a CV, or an e-commerce store, you can do it on Squarespace. They have drag and drop templates that you can customize to suit your branding, as well as built-in tools for your e-commerce, for your shipping, for hosting member areas, SEO, and super in-depth analytics. As well as that, they have a 24/7 customer support service team that you can turn to if you get stuck. But don't go in blind. You can jump in, set up a free trial, explore it, see how easy it is to use. And when you're ready to hit publish, you can use the link which I've put on the screen or in the description box, and that will give you a discount off your first purchase. So what do? Well, first, we're going to recognize fear as the first step. We're going to start to dismantle the cycle. And acknowledging and confronting these fears is the cornerstone of starting to dismantle it. Identify the ways in which the fear of success and failure can manifest in our thoughts and our actions, and that's going to give us more power to redirect our actions. By recognizing that these fears aren't uncrossable barriers, but rather they're something we've created in our own mind. we empower ourselves to address them head on. We're going to embrace some mindset shifts. The first one, we're going to redefine what success is. We're going to shift your perspective on success. So instead of viewing it as a source of pressure, I want you to see it as a journey of growth and of learning, because we need to redefine your self-worth beyond just your achievements. Second, we need to embrace, or at least start to be okay with failure. Reframe failure as an integral part of growth. I saw a really funny quote the other day that was like, no one will learn a new skill faster than someone who doesn't have a sense of embarrassment. And it's so true. Failure is not a reflection of inadequacy, but a stepping stone towards improvement. Number 3, we're going to cultivate some self-compassion. So treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a friend. Allow yourself room for mistakes. And step 4, we're going to set more realistic expectations. From the mundane morning routines to the automatic responses that dictate our reactions. Our habits, they shape our actions and they shape our decisions. Influence of habits doesn't just stop at routine. It also plays a really important role in the landscape of self-sabotage. So we have constructive and destructive habits. This is the blueprint of behavior. Whether your habits are positive or negative, most of them are deeply ingrained. Constructive habits obviously propel us forward and they let us achieve our goals and they enhance our well-being. These are things like, exercising regularly, practicing gratitude, journaling, things that contribute positively to our lives. However, it's the detrimental habits that often grab our attention, leaving us to question why we engage in behaviors that are seemingly counterintuitive to our aspirations. Self-sabotage can often find its root in the familiar embrace of habitual behaviors. This is something that I work on a lot with my clients, and as counterintuitive as it may sound, engaging in self-sabotaging actions provides a certain level of comfort, even when it impedes your long-term progress. The comfort doesn't always arise from the act of sabotaging itself, but rather from the predictability and the familiarity of those behaviors. Again, humans are creatures of habit. We seek routines and patterns that give us a sense of stability in an ever-changing world. Now, I want you to consider the habit of procrastination and if you use it as a comfort zone. Despite your desire to accomplish tasks, meet your deadlines, procrastination can become a refuge. And the act of delaying responsibilities often offers temporary relief from the pressure to perform, which creates an illusion of control over time and control over stress. This familiarity becomes a psychological anchor, and it's going to stop you from venturing into anything that feels uncertain. Now, another common self-sabotaging behavior is negative self-talk. It illustrates the power of familiar patterns. The familiarity of these inner narratives aligns with the beliefs that you still hold, even when those beliefs are self-limiting. So this can be things like telling yourself you're not fit, telling yourself you're not smart, telling yourself you're not capable of the thing that you want to do. I often see this surface a lot when people's primary goals and motivators for their health and fitness are purely aesthetic and not habit-based. They start to get really down on themselves when progress takes longer than they were expecting. They beat themselves up, they bully themselves about how they look, and this in turn reinforces those habits and re-sparks those behaviors. So let's quickly discuss breaking those habitual chains, because to break free from self-sabotaging habits, a conscious and deliberate effort is required. The first step is awareness, so recognizing that self-sabotage habits can hinder progress and knowing what they look like in your life. Next up is replacement. We want to slowly start to replace destructive habits with more positive alternatives. Consider, okay, well, how do we avoid numbing out, and what habit can I put in place to step into anyway that's going to address the root cause of why I'm feeling like this. Step 3 is persistence, because changing habits does require consistent effort. Patience and persistence. I feel like I talk about them over and over again. Patience and persistence. They're essential, as new habits will only gradually replace the old ones. It's not like a light switch. It doesn't happen overnight. And step 4 is cultivating more mindfulness to catch yourself in the act of engaging in self-sabotaging behaviors. And over time, you can slowly redirect these impulses towards positive actions. I want you to remember as well, habits and the habits you choose to have, they have the power to mold your life. They either guide us towards progress or they lock us back into the patterns that hinder our potential. And self-sabotage really does find its footing in the comfort of familiar behaviors, even when those behaviors stand in complete opposition to our goals and aspirations. Recognize that some of these habits that you have right now, they're giving you a source of comfort. but that comfort can sometimes be a barrier to growth. And by replacing these self-sabotaging habits with constructive patterns, we can reshape the familiar landscape of our lives, of our progress, and we can really improve your well-being and just empower you to feel much better.